A very wise man once said, "It's hammer time." Today we're going to talk hammers. Now I've mentioned hammers before, and I've showed off my favorite hammer in the world a number of times. So today we're going to touch on that, and I'm going to do a little bit of resurfacing to it. And I'm also going to show you a hammer that you've probably never seen before. It's one of my favorite hammers. I don't get to use it much, but I'm going to break it out and just kind of show you what it is and explain it to you today. So stay tuned. We're going to talk hammers. All right. So I've mentioned before, this is my favorite hammer. It's a chasing hammer. It's lightweight. It's the wood it's hardened wood, but it's real narrow in the shaft, so it's got a good response. It's nice and flexible, so when I'm using it, it just feels good. It's got a good balance. But I noticed the other day when I was working on it, the face of it is starting to get a little pitted. So today I'm going to resurface this and show you how I do that. So the first thing I do is I'll grab my snap-on sanding disc, and you've seen me use these before. I use them for a number of things. Put a new one on there, and this is about a medium cut. It's a yellow one. They look like this when they're not mounted, and you just put them on the mandrel. And so I'm just going to resurface this area here. So let's do that. I'll show you here a little bit closer how I go about doing that. So I'm going to I put the cutting edge on the outside so that as I'm using it, I can kind of brush this back and forth and just kind of smooth it out. So what I'm doing now is I'm just looking to make sure that the pit area is getting removed. So the pits aren't very deep, but I want to take them out because sometimes if I'm hammering on like gold or silver and I just want to flatten something out, I don't want it to be pitted. I want it to be nice and smooth. So I'm just going to make sure that we take out and remove a lot of those pits. Now on this hammer, it's fairly flat. It's got just a hair of a dome to it. But on this outside edge, I want to make sure that that's nice and soft and rounded, just because if I accidentally hit something with the edge, I don't want it to cut really bad. I mean, it's going to leave a tool mark, but I want to reduce the tool mark as much as I can. So again, I'm just going to kind of go over this thing and blend all of it in and take out the little dents. And the dents come from like hammering, like when I'm channel setting or something like that, I'm using steel on steel. And as I'm hammering it, it's actually leaving small dents in there. And sometimes I'm really hammering it hard, and that's where they come from. For the most part, when you're using it, you're not using a lot of pressure and hammering really hard, so this doesn't get damaged. But every once in a while, you got to really lean into it, and that's where those little dents come from. So I'm just going to kind of go over this and just make it nice and smooth again. This hammer is I don't know how old it is. I've had it for 40 years, and when I got it, it was used. So it's got some age to it, and I think I've showed you before, it was made in West Germany. So it kind of gives you an idea. I don't think it's been called West Germany since the early 90s. So 1990s, by the way. All right. I'm just kind of getting all these little dings out of there, and it's starting to look pretty good. Now there are a little bit of pits in the metal. I'm not too worried about that. I just want to get rid of the little dents. So again, now I'm just going to go around the outside of it and just kind of soften up that edge, just to make sure that it's not a sharp edge. I'll show you another trick on on these sanding discs, sometimes when you're using them, just the very outside edge gets used up and gets dull. And I've showed you this before. I use these scalpels, surgical blades for cutting molds, and I when they're done for cutting molds, they're still good enough for using for other things. So what I do is I'm going to take this, and as it's spinning, I'm just going to take and I'm going to cut the outer edge off. So you can see I just cut off that outer edge there. Now this is nice and fresh and still pretty sharp, and so now I can, it's like putting on a brand new one. Because when I'm sanding like this, really I'm only using the outside 2 millimeters, just because of the angle that I'm sanding on. So all right, that's looking pretty good. You can see it's all the pits are out, so now it's just sanded. It's got a sanded surface from the snap-on disc. So now I'm going to take, this is a piece of 400 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to take this and put it on a flat surface. I'm doing it on my bench pen just so that you can see a little bit better. But as I'm rubbing it, I'm slowly rotating it around, so I'm getting all of the edges and everything nice and smooth. You can see it's already starting to give it that smoother satin look. And just go around it and take a look. And again, you can kind of see it's taking out the deeper scratches from the sanding wheel and kind of blending it all in. Looking pretty good, looking nice and smooth. I'll put this down on my bench down here just because it's got a little bit flatter surface. And there you go. You look at it, it's nice and smooth. All of the deep pits are gone. Now I'm going to take, this is 800 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to do the same thing. And again, it's kind of like the polishing process I've explained before, where you're going from more aggressive like files and rubber wheels and then sanding to polishing. So you're in the process of removing defects and scratches and things. And it's the same thing. I'm going from an aggressive sanding disc to a medium aggressive sandpaper to the 800 grit is fairly, it's not as aggressive. It's more starting to get into the pre-polishing stage. Again, you can look, and now it's starting to almost shine. I'm just gonna, and there you go. It's looking pretty good. Now, to me, that's good enough, but sometimes I'll even take this and take it to a polishing wheel and put like a mirror finish on there. I probably won't do that just because I don't need a mirror shine on my hammer. I'll probably stop at the 400 grit just because that's enough. It's got a little bit of sanding surface to it, and that doesn't bother me because when I'm usually using on this is for like setting stones, and I'm using something like a small punch, and I'm just kind of tapping on that. And this doesn't need to be mirror finish. It doesn't need to be super smooth. It just needs to be nice and soft. But sometimes, like if I'm sizing a ring or flattening metal or something like that, this will give me still a nice smooth surface. I've taken out all of the pits and just left it like that. So I'm satisfied with that. Again, you could take it to a polishing wheel and just give that a mirror finish if you like. So there you go. This is what I do. And again, I use this mostly for like modifying metal, flattening it out, but usually for like stone setting and things like that. And speaking of stone setting, I'm going to show you my other hammer that I teased out a little bit earlier, and it looks like this. It's the same all the way around. You can see right here, there's a couple of little Allen screws that hold it into this maple handle. A friend of mine, his name is William, he made this for me. I showed him the dimensions of what I wanted. This is bronze, so it's a softer metal. So as opposed to steel on steel, this has got a little bit of give. So like if I'm setting stones, you can see. So if I'm setting stones, like really small, like channel sets or something like that, it's got a lot of weight to it, but I don't have to like hammer to it. I just lift it up and drop it. And the weight of this is enough to move metal. So when I'm sitting there, I can just, I'm not hammering down, I'm just lifting up and letting the weight of the hammer do the work. And I can just sit there and just work on that. So this is a softer metal, so I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit pitted around the outside, and that's okay. That's designed to do that. So like if I'm using this and I'm hammering, and say I'm off on an angle just a little bit, sometimes I'll hit it and it'll want to like slide off. So you want to be real conscious of how the hammer head is opposed to what you're hammering. You want to make sure it's got a nice perpendicular angle to it so that it has a good strike. Where on this, if you're off just a little bit, it's okay because the metal will sink into the bronze just a little bit and give a little bit of bite. So this is something when I'm setting small stones in a channel set or something like that, I just enjoyed working with this one. So sometimes I'll just grab this because it's nice and handy, but this is fun to work with and I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite tools just because I had it custom made. William did a great job, and it's nice to use. So sometimes when I'm in the mood, I'll pull this one out and just kind of go to town on it. Like I said, usually I use this one because it's always right in front of me because I use it so often. But this is a fun one. Now, I've seen some similar to this on like Rio Grande years ago. I don't know if they make it. It had an aluminum handle and a steel head, but I wanted something that's got a little bit softer head, so that again, if you don't have a perfect strike, it doesn't necessarily want to slide off. It still gives you a good hammer, and it's got, like I said, it's got good weight, so it's got a good balance to it. So as I'm working, I can just sit there and just hammer away. So there you go. It's hammer time. So a couple of my favorite hammers. So again, and I don't even know what they call this. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I just call it one of my favorite hammers, as opposed to this one, which is my favorite hammer. So thanks for stopping in today. This is Doug with the Jewelry Monk Studio. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I've got videos coming out all the time. I'm trying to do 2 to 3 a week, so there's always new content. So today I just felt like making something about hammers. So thanks for stopping in, and we'll see you next time.